Ever overheard a conversation on a train and tried to guess the language? Maybe you thought it was Swedish, then German, then something else entirely. That's the magic of Norwegian. It's familiar, yet elusive. A language that sounds like a blend of its neighbors, but is uniquely its own. For most people outside Scandinavia, Norwegian is a mystery. We know the Vikings spoke something like it, but what does it actually sound like? When we finally hear it, our brains scramble to compare it to what we know, Swedish, German, Dutch, but nothing quite fits. Norwegian is soft, rhythmic, and inviting. It's not aggressive or complex, but floats in a comfortable middle ground. People describe it as musical, almost as if every sentence has its own gentle beat. It's a language that could read a bedtime story or cheer on a ski race with the same pleasant enthusiasm. So if you've ever tried to decode this friendly-sounding language, you're not alone. Today, we'll unravel the sounds, the reactions, and the secrets of Norwegian, why it charms, confuses, and delights. This isn't just a language lesson, it's an auditory adventure. What do foreigners hear when Norwegian is spoken? Words like soft, melodic, and sing-songy come up again and again. If German is a stern professor, Norwegian is the friendly teaching assistant. Warm, approachable, and disarming. The sing-song quality isn't just a feeling, it's built into the language. Norwegian uses pitch accent, so the melody of your voice can change a word's meaning. For outsiders, it just sounds musical, like everyone speaking in a cheerful, inquisitive tone. The consonants are gentle, the vowels are rich, and the sounds flow smoothly together. There's a clear, deliberate pacing that makes it easy to follow, even if you don't understand a word. Many visitors say Norwegian makes them feel calm or cozy, like the language itself is giving you a warm welcome. It's not a language for arguments, it's a language for sharing coffee and cinnamon buns. These first impressions shape how people see Norwegian culture. Friendly, safe, and inviting, and that's the power of a language's melody. Why does the sound of a language matter? Because it's the soundtrack to a culture. Whether you're visiting Norway or moving there, understanding how Norwegian sounds is your first step to connecting with the people. This video is for travelers, expats, language lovers, and anyone curious about human connection. Even though most Norwegians speak English, making an effort with their language opens unexpected doors. Knowing its musicality helps with pronunciation and gives you confidence to try. For tourists, it adds a new layer to your experience. You'll start to notice the patterns and rhythms everywhere. In this series, we'll break down the sounds, compare Norwegian to its cousins, and hear real reactions from learners. By the end, you'll recognize Norwegian instantly and understand the heart behind its sound. Why does Norwegian sound like a song? The answer: pitch accent. Unlike English, which uses stress, Norwegian adds melody. Your voice rises or falls on certain syllables, changing a word's meaning. Say it one way, it means farmers, another way, it means beans. The difference is all in the tune. This two-tone system, tone 1 and tone 2, creates a gentle, undulating melody in every sentence. It's not as dramatic as Mandarin, but it gives Norwegian its signature rhythm and flow. For natives, it's automatic. For outsiders, it's the most striking feature. Even a simple sentence like "I have to buy milk" sounds upbeat and pleasant. This built-in musicality sets Norwegian apart from Danish or English, making it feel alive and dynamic. So when you hear Norwegian and think it sounds like singing, you're not wrong. You're hearing the secret music of pitch. Norwegian doesn't just speak, it sings. Beyond pitch, Norwegian sounds make it a pleasure to hear. Unlike German's harsh consonants, Norwegian is soft and fluid, no throat clearing required. The language loves its vowels, 9 of them, each with long and short versions, creating a warm, resonant quality. Open, rounded vowels make Norwegian clear and articulate, even from a distance. Most syllables end in vowels, not hard stops, so words flow gently together. This gives Norwegian a smooth legato feel, like a melody, not a staccato beat. And then there's the famous rolling a gentle trill that adds texture without harshness. Combine soft consonants, open vowels, and that subtle trill, and you get a sound that's both crisp and smooth. It's a perfectly balanced cocktail, polished, pleasant, and uniquely Norwegian. That's why it stands out to foreign ears. Can grammar affect how a language sounds? Absolutely. Norwegian's grammar is minimalist, no complex cases or endless verb endings. Sentences are predictable and uncluttered, with a familiar subject-verb-object order. Verbs don't change. Snacker works for I, you, he, we, they. Simple. This simplicity keeps the rhythm steady and the pacing relaxed. There's no rush or awkward pauses, just a calm, even flow. The language sounds organized, logical, and tidy, even if you don't understand the words. Fewer moving parts mean the melody and vowels shine through, undistracted by grammatical noise. Norwegian's clean structure gives it a confident, refined sound. It's the steady beat behind the language's beautiful song. Just when you think you've got Norwegian figured out, the country throws you a curveball: dialects. Norway isn't just about one accent, it's a tapestry of proud, distinct dialects, each with its own sound and rhythm. From Bergen's guttural to Trondheim's bouncy cadence, every region surprises you. The true sound of Norwegian? It's a folk orchestra, each region playing its own unique tune. Every foreigner hearing Norwegian for the first time has a wait. What was that moment? The language is unexpectedly gentle, soft, melodic, and cheerful, cutting through the noise with calmness. It feels like a friendly welcome, leaving you smiling, a little confused but instantly at ease. Norwegian is a pleasant shock to the system. Norwegian is a linguistic guessing game, familiar yet hard to pin down. Most guess Swedish thanks to their close ties, but some hear German or Dutch, just softer and more melodic. Others even compare it to Elvish from The Lord of the Rings, enchanted by its musical fairy tale quality. Norwegian keeps you guessing, a fun little puzzle for your ears. Listening to a language for the first time isn't just auditory, it's cultural. Norwegian sounds friendly, calm, and polite. It feels like coziness and warmth. It's warm, comforting, and safe. Interactions feel sincere and meaningful. You're hearing a worldview of warmth and welcome. Norwegian is part of the Germanic language family. Think of it as the friendly musical cousin at a big family reunion. You can hear the shared DNA in phrases like, I have a book, but each language has its own style. Norwegian stands out with its cheerful, lilting melody, making it sound lighter and more inviting than its cousins. It's like building a colorful house from the same blocks. Norwegian's sound is truly one of a kind. Of all its relatives, Norwegian is most often confused with Swedish. To an untrained ear, they can sound nearly identical, like two dialects of the same language. And in many ways they are. Norwegians and Swedes can largely understand each other's spoken language, a concept known as mutual intelligibility. They watch each other's TV shows, read each other's books, and can hold a conversation with each person speaking their own native tongue. But when you listen closely, you'll notice that the two languages, while siblings, have very different vibes. The primary distinction comes down to rhythm and melody, making for a fascinating side-by-side comparison. Let's take another phrase. Can you help me? In Norwegian, it's kan du hjelpe meg. In Swedish, it's kan du hjälpa mig. The words are almost identical. The key difference lies in the pronunciation and the musicality. Swedish tends to have a more drawn-out, elongated vowel sound and a flatter, more monotonous intonation pattern. It's often described as sounding more posh or elegant with a smoother, more gliding quality. It's beautiful, but in a more reserved and stately way. It's the sound of sophisticated minimalist design and calm, collected efficiency. It has a certain cool, chic feel to it. Norwegian, on the other hand, is generally more rhythmic and bouncy. The pitch accent is more pronounced and dynamic, creating that distinct up-and-down sing-song quality that we keep coming back to. The pace can feel a bit quicker and more energetic compared to the more languid flow of Swedish. If Swedish is a graceful ice skater gliding across the rink, Norwegian is a cross-country skier bounding energetically over the hills. One isn't better than the other, they just have completely different dynamics. This makes Norwegian sound more informal, rustic, and overtly cheerful to many listeners. This difference is a source of friendly rivalry between the two nations. Swedes sometimes jokingly say that Norwegians sound perpetually, and perhaps naively, happy. Norwegians, in turn, might playfully rib the Swedes for sounding a bit stiff or monotonous. Ultimately, the choice between the two sounds is a matter of personal preference. But for the foreigner, learning to distinguish them is a key step in appreciating the nuances of Scandinavian culture. While they may be close siblings, Swedish is the cool, composed older sister, while Norwegian is the bubbly, energetic younger one who is always humming a tune. If Swedish is Norwegian's sibling, then German is its stern but respected grandparent. The family connection is undeniable, but several generations of separation have resulted in vastly different personalities. The most immediate and striking difference for any listener is the level of harshness in the sounds. German is famous for its guttural consonants, like the HAN or the throaty R. These sounds give the language a strong, forceful, and commanding presence. It sounds like a language built for precision, engineering, and giving clear, unambiguous instructions. It's powerful and impressive, but not typically described as soft. Norwegian, having shed most of these harsher Germanic sounds, offers a much gentler auditory experience. Let's compare a simple command. In German you might say, "Komm her," come here. The K is sharp, the R is guttural, and the overall delivery is clipped and direct. It sounds like an order. The Norwegian equivalent is "Komm her." The K is softer, the R is often a light roll or tap, and the intonation is likely to have a friendly upward lilt. It sounds more like an invitation than a command. This single example encapsulates the fundamental sonic divergence between the two languages. This contrast extends to the overall rhythm and flow. German sentences often have a very deliberate marching beat, with clear stress placed on important words. This gives it a staccato, powerful cadence. Norwegian, with its pitch accent and flowing syllables, feels much more legato and musical. Let's look at the numbers. In German eins, zwei, drei, it's sharp and precise. In Norwegian en, to, tre, the sounds are rounder, softer, and flow into one another more smoothly. The German version sounds like it's counting off soldiers, while the Norwegian version sounds like it's counting sheep to fall asleep. This isn't a criticism of German, it's simply a different linguistic philosophy. German prioritizes clarity and strength in its phonetics, while Norwegian leans into melody and softness. This is why many people who are intimidated by the sound of German find Norwegian to be a welcome and approachable alternative. It takes the familiar Germanic vocabulary and structure, but wraps it in a layer of musicality and gentleness that makes it sound far less imposing. It's the family grandparent versus the cheerful grandchild. One commands respect through authority, the other through pure, disarming charm. Finally, let's look at the relationship between Norwegian and English. The two are more like distant cousins who discover they have a surprising amount in common after not seeing each other for centuries. Both are Germanic languages, but English went on a wild journey, absorbing huge amounts of French, Latin, and other influences which, really changed its sound and vocabulary. Norwegian, by contrast, stayed closer to its Old Norse roots. Yet when you put them side by side, you can still see the old family resemblance, especially in the core, everyday words that have survived the test of time. Consider words for family and home. In Norwegian, you have for father, for mother, for brother, for sister, and for house. The connection is so obvious it barely needs pointing out. This shared basic vocabulary is one reason Norwegian is considered one of the easiest languages for English speakers to learn. You get a head start with hundreds of words that are either identical or so similar they're instantly recognizable. This creates a sense of familiarity for the English-speaking listener, even if the overall sentence is, honestly, a bit incomprehensible. You catch these little linguistic anchors that make the language feel less foreign. However, the soundscapes are vastly different. English, for the most part, is not a pitch accent language. Our melody is based on sentence-level intonation. We raise our pitch at the end of a question, for example, but it doesn't change the meaning of individual words. This is why the Norwegian sing-song quality sounds so distinct to us. Furthermore, English has a very complex and often chaotic vowel system. The letter A can be pronounced in at least 5 different ways: cat, car, came, call, any. Norwegian vowels are far more consistent, which gives the language its clear, crisp sound. The rhythm is also different. English has a stress-timed rhythm, meaning we tend to put the emphasis on certain syllables and rush through the unstressed ones, which can lead to mumbling. Think of the phrase "I'm going to the store," which often comes out as "I'm gonna go to the store." Norwegian is more syllable-timed, giving each syllable a more equal amount of time, similar to Spanish or French. This, combined with its clear vowels, makes it sound much more articulate and evenly paced than English. It's this combination of familiar words in an unfamiliar melody that makes Norwegian so intriguing for English speakers, a distant cousin with a surprisingly beautiful singing voice. Wondering if you can learn Norwegian? Good news! If you speak English, it's one of the easiest languages to pick up. English and Norwegian share thousands of similar words and simple grammar, so you're not starting from scratch. With clear pronunciation rules and familiar vocabulary, you'll be speaking Norwegian with confidence in no time. Ready to learn Norwegian? Start by listening. Music, podcasts, or TV shows help your brain get used to the rhythm. Then, try speaking simple phrases like God Morgen and Tusen Takk. Use apps and mix in a textbook or online course. Don't worry about mistakes, just enjoy connecting with a new culture. Just as you master textbook Norwegian, you'll face the biggest challenge: dialects. Norway is a country of 1,000 voices, and the Oslo dialect is just one of many. Travel to Bergen or the north and suddenly words, sounds, and even grammar change. It's humbling, but normal. Even Norwegians struggle. Start with Oslo dialect as your base, then explore others through media and conversation. Embrace the dialects. They're the ultimate, fascinating puzzle of Norwegian. When we ask foreigners what they truly love most about the Norwegian language, the answers almost always circle back to a single powerful feeling. It sounds welcoming. This goes beyond mere politeness. There's an inherent warmth and friendliness baked into the very melody of the language. The gentle, sing-song intonation, which we've explored in detail, has a profound psychological effect on the listener. It doesn't sound demanding or intimidating, it sounds inviting. It's as if the language itself is smiling at you. This auditory friendliness makes people feel at ease, creating an immediate sense of comfort and belonging, even in a foreign land. This welcoming tone is something many expats mention when they describe their first few weeks in Norway. They recall walking into a bakery and hearing a cheerful melodic God Morgen. That feels genuinely happy to see them. Or overhearing a conversation on the bus that, despite being incomprehensible, has the pleasant, rolling cadence of a friendly chat. This consistent exposure to a pleasant-sounding language can significantly shape a newcomer's experience. It lowers the social barriers and reduces the anxiety that often comes with navigating a new culture. The language acts as a constant, subtle reassurance that you are in a safe and friendly place. This impression is beautifully captured in a comment we received from a viewer named Clara from Canada. She wrote, "I couldn't stop smiling when I heard Norwegian for the first time on the flight to Oslo. I was nervous about my move, but the sound of the flight attendants speaking to each other was so calm and musical, it felt like the language itself was happy. It was like listening to a lullaby, and it instantly soothed my nerves." This perfectly encapsulates how the melodic flow translates directly into an emotional response. It's not just about what the words mean, it's about how the sound makes you feel. Ultimately, what foreigners fall in love with is this feeling of being verbally embraced. In a world where many languages can sound harsh, rushed, or aggressive to an unfamiliar ear, Norwegian stands out as a beacon of auditory gentleness. It's a language that seems to prioritize connection and harmony over assertion and force. It doesn't just communicate information, it communicates a feeling of goodwill. This inherent melodic politeness is perhaps the most beloved and memorable feature of the Norwegian language, leaving a lasting impression of warmth and welcome on all who hear it. Norwegian dialects can be a massive headache for learners, but they're also one of the things foreigners grow to love most about the language. Each dialect is a badge of honor, a sign of cultural pride and authenticity. This authenticity is incredibly appealing, making the language feel real and deeply connected to its people. In Norway, respect for diversity is embedded in the way people speak, a beautiful and admirable trait. In Norway, even a simple tusen takk or unnskyld, hvor toalette, can spark a warm smile and genuine encouragement. Norwegians truly appreciate the effort, seeing it as respect for their culture. Speaking a little Norwegian isn't just polite, it's the ultimate icebreaker, opening doors to real connection and making you feel part of the community. Norwegian isn't just a language, it's a cheerful melody, a welcoming song that wraps you in warmth. Its sing-song lilt, soft consonants, and clear vowels create a sound that feels cozy, friendly, and calm. When you hear Norwegian, you hear the heart of a culture, inviting, harmonious, and full of positive spirit. Norwegian is more than just a language, it's a gentle melody, a bridge to new friendships, and a key to truly feeling at home in Norway. This is your invitation to start listening, learning, and connecting. Thanks for joining us. Ha det.